Hello, everybody. It's Rita Lawrence back with chapter 3 of the Science of Getting Rich review. And I have some goodies for you today. First of all, I want to start with, I have looked into the history of this book, and I don't know if you know, but people like Napoleon Hill and Tony Robbins, that's what their content is based on, this book, right? So I really am interested in kind of looking at back in the history and where it came from. So a couple of the people that this has actually spun off from decades ago, we're talking 1500s, 1900s. So first of all, the book was printed, first print was 1910. So even prior to that, the content and the information came from philosophers, mathematicians, scientists from the 1500s. So the name Descartes, Spinoza, you can Google those names, but here's Descartes, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he's known for the ontological argument. Amazing, like this so inspired me because this really speaks to my soul. So what that is the argument that there is a God. How amazing is that? Like, that's beautiful to me. Spinoza was known, his biggest quote was, he said, the highest virtue is intellectual love of knowledge. So the love of learning, the love of growth, is the highest virtue, truly, to grow every day. So this chapter is called, Is Opportunity Monopolized? So there's a lot of different views on this. You know, there's a lot of people that say that because of government or because of state or because of all these reasons, well, I don't have the opportunity to get rich, right? It's not for me, it's for those other people. But that's not true, friends. It's not true. I do truly believe that the only time opportunity is monopolized is if our spirit is monopolized. If we truly feel stuck or in a situation of an area of our life where we're unable to grow in our spirit, then I believe that our view, our thoughts, everything changes from there. And it's so key to realize that it's much deeper than just the green dollar bill that we see that we get out of the ATM. It starts way, way, way before the ATMs were ever built. You know, you've got to find your truth in your spirit and your soul and really, really ask yourself, what I believe now, my money story, where does that come from? Is it truly something that is in your heart and has come from divine inspiration that you truly believe, or is it something that might have been put there from maybe growing up or parents or life? You know, I mean, who really has a really beautiful money story? Not very many people. And it's because it comes down to our thoughts and our spirit and what we truly, I believe, what we believe riches are and what riches mean and what we want our money story to be. We have the ability to create our own money story. So this first chapter was amazing. So it goes into, okay, get this, early 1900s, right? So I'm going to read you a little piece because this was so amazing to me. You may be shut off from engaging in business in certain lines, but there are other channels open to you. Probably it would be hard for you to get control of any of the great railroad systems. I mean, the railroad, that's when the railroad systems were pretty much monopolized at that point. But the electric railway business is still in its infancy. Then it goes on to talk about air traffic, that you should be thinking of in looking into the transportation through air, because that will become a great industry. Has that not come to pass? I believe it has. So the key is there's nothing limited. We have no limits. When you get out of the competitive mindset and into the creative mindset, we are able to create our own reality. We are able to think the things that we want to think and thus bring out the reality that we really, really deserve and truly, truly are meant to live for. True abundance, true beauty. I mean, it is God's calling for us to have the most beautiful things, to experience the most beautiful life we can every day, to have things, right? To be able to buy the books that we want to buy, to take the trips that we want to take, to buy our kids the college education that we want them to have. That is not, we are not limited unless we allow ourselves to be limited. Another industry that it talks a lot about, and this is what spoke to my heart because I have so much passion and drive to really educate in this area. So it says you can buy a farm of maybe 10 to 40 acres and engage in business as a producer of foodstuffs. It talks about getting into farming, buying land. Even today, how beautiful is the thought of that? Just simply because everybody eats. Everybody eats. Every single person in the world needs to eat something. So how much better is it to be in a business that is a need versus a want or a luxury for people, but a need? So it's really giving us a lot of wisdom here on recommending that. I totally believe that. Everyone needs health care. You know, the allied health industry. It talks about evolution, so the evolution of business, and then if you look at other evolutions that are happening right now, right? So if you think of the internet, it started with dial-up, super slow. We all can agree that the internet has come a long ways since dial-up. It's a beautiful thing, and I do truly believe technology was put here for us to develop ourselves, our business, our lives for abundance and riches, to use it for our good. I truly believe that. So, you know, the review and what, you know, just to really, really keep it simple and just to really, really break it down to the basics is there are no limits. There are no limits. But it is our choice to get out of that competitive mindset where we really believe that that riches are monopolized, or that anything is monopolized, that our rights are monopolized. There's nothing we have to wait for. There's nothing we have to expect of somebody else in order for us to get to that area in our life of abundance and prosperity and success. It is all up to us. And when we find ourselves struggling, it's because at least this is my personal experience, it's because we're waiting on something else outside of us to change. We're expecting that we need something else outside of us, but really, truly, it comes back to what is inside of us, what our true beliefs are, where we keep our mindset, and you know, when I was talking about us being deserving of beautiful things, it actually talks about that in this chapter. It's just amazing. Even King Solomon was arrayed in all his glory, with food enough to feed them, all luxuriously. Only the best and abundance is truly what our purpose is and what the plan is for us in this life. If we don't have abundance, if we truly feel we are not successful and that we are limited, it's only because we're allowing ourselves to do that. It's not based on anybody else. It's not based on what we were born into. It's not based on our skills. It's based on us. And truly, though, that's good news for me, because that means I do have control of what my life is. I do have control of what tomorrow holds. I don't have to live in yesterday. I don't have to live in limited poverty mindset. I can move forward. I can choose to take myself out of that and get to that next area of success if that's what I truly want. And it's not going to be easy and simple. It's a change. I've had to make major changes in my life. I've had to do things that are uncomfortable and get out of you know, something that I might rather be doing, like, you know, relaxing, sitting on the couch, watching TV, snuggling with my kids. But truly giving my days some structure and being able to put into practice principles for business success and for, you know, moving forward in my online business has been the greatest choice that I have ever made, despite the discomfort, despite that right now I might be taking more time to work than I might want to. The beauty of it is it's only a season. It's only a season. With technology and social media and the progression of business right now in this century, we don't have to work our fingers to the bone. We don't have to break our backs outside in the fields. Now I know for some people that's their joy and that's their purpose, and they love doing that, being a farmer, being a working with their hands. But if that's not what you love and enjoy and you're doing that every day, why is what I would want to ask. Why? Because with technology and again what we have available, truly we can work on the internet with no location, not having to be tied to a location. True financial freedom. We have unlimited access to as big of a network and as big of a community as we're comfortable producing. And I know that a lot more goes into that. You've got to want to talk to people. You've got to deal with people. You've got to build relationships. And there's a lot then that goes into that. You've got to be comfortable with yourself. Truly, you can't love somebody a lot if you don't even love yourself. So if you're feeling stuck and if you're feeling like, oh, I could not do that, you might be able to do that, but I couldn't talk to people like you do, then it's simple. It's just something that needs to be looked at. And I would ask why. Why do you feel that way? Why do you feel you can't talk to people? And then we would start talking about those smaller details. My mentor, Melody Ryba, has been amazing for me and my growth and my belief. And I do have those questions. I do have stinking thinking come up. I do have limited beliefs that come up every day still. But she's been able to give me tools and resources and ways that I don't have to live there. It can come in, but I immediately knock it back out, like a baseball. You imagine being at a baseball game and the ball's coming at you, and a lot of times in our life we get stuck being hit by those balls and just being hit by them, and we don't even have a catcher's mitt on, so it hurts and it's horrible and it brings us down and it puts us in a dark place. But when you have tools and resources and a bat that you can knock that ball out of the park every time it comes at you, it takes longer for the ball to come back. The more you knock it out, the farther it goes. You just got to get the tools and resources to keep doing that. And then the supply is limitless. Supply of money, supply of happiness, supply of joy. Any riches, wherever you put your mindset to what riches truly is, because I don't believe it's everybody's purpose to be rich. I don't think everybody in the world is supposed to be a millionaire. But you have to ask what is meant for you. What is meant for me? What is my true purpose in this life? And what am I meant to contribute to? What am I meant to give back to in this world every day? And go with that. Go with that. That's my challenge and my inspiration for you today, to realize that there are no limits and you can do anything you put your mind to. And thank you for being here and watching this video, and we'll catch up in the next video for chapter 4. Have a good night.